In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Good morning. A number of years ago, Protopresbyter and I took a road trip down memory lane. We visited my little Jodió in Buffalo, New York, where I grew up. And I even had a chance to go to the church that I went to as a little boy. And they asked me to offer the homily that day as well. And so I got to tell you, I don't know if you've ever had this experience if you're in another town different from where you grew up. But if you ever go back to the church, when you saw that church through the eyes of a young person, and then you go back and you see it as an adult, my goodness, what a difference. I don't know how to explain it even. I mean, back then everything looked larger than life. I was afraid of the altar. I'm still afraid in the altar, but in a different way. But I don't know, it was just surreal giving a sermon in that church that I grew up in. And after the liturgy, we went into the coffee hour, and my third grade Sunday school teacher remembered me. And she came and hugged me, and then she went to everybody in the coffee hour. You see what a great job I did? Look at this man, you know. A few weeks later, we went to Miami, Florida, where Protopresbyter grew up and was born and raised in Miami, and we went to her church, St. Sophia. And I went to that church as a young adult, too, so they asked me to give the sermon there as well. And again, a surreal experience. I wasn't ordained when I was there as a young adult. And again, I was intimidated by the altar, by the chanter stand. It was just a different thing. And to be able to give a homily in that beautiful cathedral in Miami, Florida, St. Sophia, just otherworldly. But then I was thinking about it, and what the parish in Buffalo did, the Annunciation, it gave me a Christian formation. It taught me the faith, the things of the faith. It gave me a Christian formation. But the church in Miami challenged me to actually live the faith. Listening to Father Macris of blessed memory, I mean, it was a different experience. I was challenged to actually live what I was taught. And I tried, and I tried. And so for me, Buffalo was my Christian formation, and the cathedral in Miami was my priestly formation, because soon thereafter, I went to the seminary and later on became a priest. And it's not surprising to have these formations in your life, in the life of a young person, as he grows in the church. That's why I please those of you with young children, even if they're fussing, even if they're fitful and everything, that's your thesia. That's what you got to deal with as a mother and a father. You have to take them in and out, and you have to respect the others, but then bring them back. Let them experience the sights and the sounds and the smells and the tastes and the touches of Mother Church. There's no replacement for that, because Mother Church is not just teaching the intellect. As I've told you before, Mother Church teaches all your senses. You remember these things if you grew up with them. So parents, don't get weary in familiarizing your young children with the things of the faith. So as you grow and these formations come into you, they do come into you, and they make a difference in your life, especially if you commit to it, because the Holy Spirit reigns in the church. That's what we believe as Orthodox Christians. The Holy Spirit reigns in the church. She guides the church. The whole purpose of the Christian life, according to St. Seraphim of Seraph, is to acquire the Holy Spirit. And that's one of the reasons we come to the church, to help acquire this Holy Spirit. if you are really seeking to grow as an Orthodox Christian, to become closer to the Lord, to progress in your life, to become mature, if you are really seeking that, then the church is the place that you need to go, because the Holy Spirit reigns in the church. It helps us deal with the harsh realities of this life. Rejection, suffering, pain, death. It helps us deal with these things. In today's gospel lesson, we read about two men who were unable to see and another man who was unable to speak. Blindness and dumbness are physical infirmities, no question about it, difficult physical infirmities, but they are also spiritual infirmities. The man who is spiritually blind does not see the light of the world. He moves about in darkened space, according to one Orthodox commentator. He doesn't see other men as they really are, because his nous, the inner eye, is darkened and marred, and so he doesn't see the way things really are. And so he projects onto others the circus that's going on in his mind. And he sees some men as, worthy of a cult hero, and others worthy of disgust. The inner eye is blind, and that needs to be healed. And for those who are spiritually dumb, a spiritual infirmity, he can't speak. He cannot speak to others in terms of you and me. He's reduced to a monologue, as if the world is his classroom. He seeks only himself. He cannot even speak to God, because even prayer exasperates him. This Orthodox commentator concluded about this: he who does not receive the Word made flesh is deprived of all words. And he who does not receive the light of the world is deprived of all light. So a very simple message for you today, my friends. Seek the Holy Spirit. Go to the place where the Holy Spirit is most available, in the church. Allow Him to bless and guide and transform your life. As the Orthodox hymn in the Orthros today said, in the Holy Spirit is theosis, is good pleasure, is understanding and peace and blessings for all mankind. So do not be conformed to this world, but transformed by the renewing of your mind through the gift of the Holy Spirit. God bless you today.